Let's begin with our lesson. The class is recording, so don't worry. Let me share the screen. Today we're going to focus on pronunciation, and then we are going to practice our speaking. Well, let's begin here. Probably you know this, but you gotta practice, okay? Remember, in English we have this sound. En el idioma inglés tenemos este sonido. This sound, or this consonant, or this syllable, call it whatever you want, can be pronounced in 3 different ways. This one can be pronounced in 3 different ways. Puede ser pronunciado de 3 maneras distintas. La primera tiene el símbolo fonético así, que suena como it, 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 it. El segundo símbolo fonético que tiene es el de la T, que suena t, 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 t. Y el tercer símbolo fonético que tiene es el de la D. Para hacer esto es sencillo. Lo que tienes que hacer aquí es decir una E, mira, et, y tu lengua se queda arriba. Et, 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 et. Para hacer el siguiente sonido, tienes que botar aire. Mi lengua sube, baja y bota aire. Y para hacer el último sonido, al igual que el primero, mi lengua se queda arriba. Va así, como una ola. Empezamos. Flor pronuncia el primer sonido, este de aquí.
It.
Ed, muy bien, el de la T. Y el de la D. Haces como que quieres bajar tu lengua, pero se queda arriba. D. Ajá, así es, okay. You, Sarah, please pronounce the sound. Ed, perfecto. D. Amazing. Ok, entonces como les dije, la ed puede ser pronunciada de 3 maneras distintas. La primera, cuando vamos a usarla de aquí, we are going to use this one when the verb or the word ends in T or D. Let me change the color because it will be great for you. Okay, so when the words end in T or D, you pronounce like that. For example, you have the word want. In the past, this is wanted. So now you have here the T, and then you have the sound. And the sound is this one. This one. So we say want it, wanted, wanted, wanted. Okay? What about this one? You have decide. Decide. You say decide. What else? What is the correct pronunciation of this verb in the past, a participle? Nope.
Decide.
Nope. You know that we pronounce it al final. So we say decide.
Yeah. Decided.
Decided. Decided. Wanted. Wanted. What about this one? You have need. You say need. Le agrego ed. Antes de la ed hay una d. Por lo tanto, ¿cómo se va a pronunciar esta ed? Sí. ¿Cómo sería entonces? Ni.
Needed.
Needed. Needed. Decided. Wanted. So apart from that, you can also apply the rules about pronunciation. Aparte de eso, pueden aplicar las reglas de pronunciación que les enseñé antes, como por ejemplo, si esto suena como E, ¿qué pasaba? NT vocal. Borro la T, ¿cómo sería? Wanted. Wanted.
Wanted.
Wanted. Aquí,
Wanted.
esta D, acá tú sabes que suena como ED. D entre 2 vocales, ¿cómo sería? Decide. Decided. 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 ¿Cómo sería con need? Needed. Needed. Okay? So, did you understand the first one? ¿Se entendió el primero?
Yes.
Yes, it's great. Okay, that's great.
Teacher, I have a question. Sorry.
What's
Good
your
morning.
Good morning.
Um, it's always when the word ends in T or D, right?
Yeah.
It's only in that case.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Only
Yes.
when the words end in T or D, like this. Want, decide. But look at this. This side doesn't end in the E. I mean, you just ask D here, and then you have here the D. It's the same here. Okay. Now, before we continue, or it's like recommend. For example, recommend. You add ed, so you have the d here. So you say recommended, recommended. Now, before we use the second and the third one, which is that we have to focus on this part. In English, we have sounds. In English, we have sounds. The sounds can be divided into two groups. It can be an voice. Oh, sorry. It can be unvoiced, and then can be voiced. Voice and unvoiced. What is the difference between voice and unvoiced? When you have a voice, or when the sound is unvoiced, you don't feel a vibration, or you don't feel vibrations in your vocal cords. But when you say a voice sound, you feel vibrations. A good way to know if a sound is voice or unvoiced is to put your hands in your head or in your throat here, and then you will realize which one is voice and unvoiced. For example, the p sound, this p sound, I want to know if this is voice or unvoiced. So what I have to do is to put my hands here, and then I say, is it air? Or it produces vibrations here. As you can see here, it's just air. Look at this. Air. So this is unvoiced. What about the M? The M. If you put your hands here, you say M, M, M. You feel a vibration. So this is voice. My question: the k sound, voice or unvoiced? What do you think? The k sound. What do you think, guys? The k, is it air?
Voice. Voice.
Unvoiced, of course. Unvoiced. What about the R? Like R. R. What do you think?
Voice.
This is voice.
Voice.
This is voice. What about the t, 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 t? Voice or unvoiced?
Voice.
Unvoiced. Pretty good. What about the L? L, 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 L. Voice or unvoiced? Voice. Voiced. What about S, 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 S. Voice or unvoiced?
Voice.
Unvoiced. What about this H? Voice or unvoiced? Shh. Voice. So now you can recognize which one is voice and unvoiced. Is that true? Yeah, you can recognize. So this is super simple. You are going to pronounce this one like t, t, when this is, or when the last sound is unvoiced. And you pronounce like d, d when the last sound is voiced. For example, you have the word look. Look. The last sound is this one. Listen. Look. Voice or voice? Look.
And voice.
Voice. So when you add ed, you pronounce this like T. So you say looked. So yeah, it would be like looked, 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 looked. But what about this one? You have learn, 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 and you feel vibration here. So this is voice one voice. Voice, voice. So when you add ed, you pronounce this like D. So you say, instead of saying looked, looked, you say learn, learn. My tongue is here. Learn, learn. Did you understand? Learn, looked, looked. You got it?
Yes.
For example, you have the word wash, wash. When you, my question is, when you add ed, this ed sounds like T or D? T or D?
T.
T, because
T.
this is an voice. So you say washed, washed. What about what about cook? When you add cook, you add ed. This ed sounds like T or D or ed?
T.
D again. So you say cooked, cooked, cooked. What about this one? Paint, paint. When you add ed, this ed sounds like
T2.
paint. No. Look at this. Look at this here. When the word ends in T or D, you pronounce this like ed. So you say painted, painted. It is here. Painted, painted, painted. Okay. What about this one? Brush. When you add a D sound, you write a D. This a D sounds like
T.
like T. You say, how do you pronounce brush in the past? How? Pronounce it.
Brushed.
Brushed, brushed. Mason. What about the other? A verb. Tell me a verb. Brush. Ah, there's one. Clean, clean. Look at this. Clean. When you add ed, this ed sounds like n, 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 n. Which one? This is like like it, d. Which one?
Land.
Like D, right? Like D. So you say
Like D.
clean. It is not cleaned. No, cleaned. Incorrect. We say clean, clean. Okay. So colors for me, they are the same. No, they are not the same. So imagine you know that look. That look is pronounced with the T sound. But imagine that you don't wanna remember this. Well, for me it's the same. Now let me tell you that it's not the same because look at this. You say looked, looked, but the second one is looked, 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 looked. You notice the difference? Is that true? Yep. So
Yes.
that would be all about the past or the participle form or the ed sound. Do you have any question about this? Nope.
Teacher, but look, look, the verb look
Look.
is with T, right?
Yeah, of course,
That-
it's
that-
with T. It's with T.
Okay, the second is not possible.
No, it's not correct, but I want to show the difference. De repente tú quieres decir, no, para mí suenan igual. A ver, voy a pronunciar con la T y con la D y tú me dices si suenan igual. Yo te digo looked y con la D sería looked. Suenan distintos. ¿Ok? Era para dar un ejemplo de que suenan distintos. ¿Ok? So, I'm a pleasure. Do you have any question about this? No questions?
No.
¿Puedo repetir cualquier cosita antes de continuar con el próximo tema? ¿Me comentan?
Yes, teacher. Lo que está en el recuadro, ¿podría ponerlo, por favor?
Okay, lo que está en el recuadro. It says words, a word that ends in T or D. Cuando una palabra termina con T o con D, y antes de esta va a ser seguida el ed, este ed va a ser pronunciado como ed. Por ejemplo, want, le agrego ed y antes del ed hay una T. Por lo tanto sería wanted, wanted. Decide, ya tiene, le agrego la D, pero antes de esta ed hay una D, sería decided, decided. En el need, le agrego la ed y antes de la D hay una D, eso sería needed, needed. Pero luego podemos aplicar las reglas de pronunciación aprendidas anteriormente. NT, sonido de vocal, se elimina la T. Wanted, wanted. Decide, D entre dos sonidos de vocales, decided. Need, esta D entre dos sonidos de vocales, needed, needed. Okay? So, did you understand this part? ¿Se entendió ahora sí? Sure?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So now let's practice just one with sentence here. Look at this part. Okay, let me just make it bigger. Okay, so you know that we pronounce this like Eddie, right? Why? How do we pronounce this one? ¿Cómo se pronuncia este nombre? Didi. What am I supposed to do? Drop this one, and how do we pronounce it? No? Eddie. 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 Then, esta ed, ¿cómo que va a sonar? Ed, muy bien, ed. El sonido, el símbolo fonético es una I mayúscula con la D, pero suena it. Ahora, esta T se encuentra entre dos sonidos de vocales. ¿Cómo se pronunciaría edítalo o editado? O editó, perdón. Edited. Muy bien. Edited. Ahora acá suena como ed, ¿cierto? Ahora, esta D, ¿no ves que termina con ed? ¿Está entre dos sonidos de vocales o no? Yes. Por lo tanto, suena como ere. ¿Cómo sería Eddie lo editó? Eddie edited it. Eddie edited it. Así suena, Eddie lo editó. Eddie edited it. Hey, what did he do? Well, Eddie edited it. Eddie edited it. Okay? So you can practice with this sentence. Okay? So guys, do you have any questions about pronunciation? We practice the sound. So you have the three ways. Okay? Any questions? No, right?
No.
Okay, so shall we continue? Okay. So we continue with the next class. 1 second. Okay, focus on this part. Okay, guys, so I hope that you practice this a lot, and today we have grammar. Can you see my whiteboard, right? Yes? Nope.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to focus. Another way to say, I want you to focus. Quiero que se concentren. I want you to focus. But in English, it's more common to say, I want you to be on the ball. When you say, I want you to be on the ball, means I want you to be focused. I want you to be concentrated. Okay? I want you to be concentrated. And remember, if you don't understand, you can tell me, could you repeat that, please? Because it was difficult for me to get it. Okay, today we will learn, it's not expression, it's grammar. Today we will learn, despite the fact, because this was in the exam, despite the fact that, no, despite, and in spite of. Have you ever used this grammar, these words? Or this is the first time? Yes?
The first time.
Okay.
The first time.
Okay. In
Yes,
English, we
time.
have despite and in spite of. What does or what are they? Okay, so they mean in Spanish a pesar de. in Spanish, okay? Despite, they are the same. They are the same. So if you want to say a pesar de, despite. You want to say a pesar de, in spite of. They are the same. They have the same rules. But how do we use it? Because this is the most important part here. Well, let me tell you that. For example, you have despite. When you have the word despite, you have three ways. I'm going to teach you two today. The first one, you use despite plus a noun. Despite plus a noun. How is that possible? You say, despite the rain, I went to the party. Despite the rain, I went to the party. ¿Qué dice allí?
A pesar de la lluvia, voy a la fiesta.
Yo fui a la fiesta.
A la fiesta, fui a la fiesta.
Yes. ¿Te das cuenta que the rain, qué cosa viene a ser? Un sustantivo. Okay? The rain. Despite the rain, I went to the park. I went to the park. But now, despite can also be followed by a clause. Plus a clause. But what is a clause? Do you know what a clause means? A clause is a sentence. I mean, it's a sentence, of course. It's a sentence, which means a subject plus verb. Okay? So you can also say, despite it was raining, I went to the park. Did you understand? This is a clause. This is a clause. It was raining because this is a sentence. Subject plus verb. So, did you understand this part? Or not? Yep.
Yes, pero podría poner otro ejemplo.
Okay, for example, you can say, despite the traffic, because this is a noun, despite the traffic, and I arrived on time. So, despite the traffic, as you can see here, traffic is the noun. And also you can say, despite there was heavy traffic, because the traffic is uncountable. You say, despite there was heavy traffic, I arrived on time. In this case, you have here a sentence. There was a heavy traffic. This is a sentence. Despite the rain, despite the traffic is a noun. Okay? Another example, you can say, you just need to know, what am I using? A noun or a sentence? Lo que tienes que hacer es fijarte, ¿qué voy a usar? ¿Un sustantivo o una oración? Te preguntarás, ¿cierto? Yep. Entonces, déjame decirte lo siguiente. Nosotros, cuando vamos a usar un sustantivo normal, por ejemplo, despite the rain es un sustantivo. Pero como puedes ver, despite it was raining, despite there was a traffic, son cláusulas, son oraciones que tienen sujeto y verbo. En el idioma inglés, dicen que, o sea, que es lo mismo. No, no es lo mismo. Entonces, para no generar confusión, lo que tú tienes que hacer cuando agregues una cláusula es agregarle la expresión the fact that. Quiere decir que si tú no le agregas el the fact that, tu oración está incorrecta. ¿Ok? ¿Quedó claro? Por ejemplo, vamos a hacer unos ejemplitos ahorita. Yo quiero hacer lo siguiente. Quiero decir, yo llegué tarde. No, a pesar de que llegué tarde, di el examen. Ahora, yo digo a pesar. ¿Cómo se dice a pesar en inglés? ¿Se acuerdan? A pesar de. Despite. Muy bien. Despite. Ahora me fijo. A pesar de que llegué tarde. ¿Quién llegó tarde? Yo, ¿sí o no? A pesar de que yo llegué tarde. ¿Esto qué cosa es? ¿Un sustantivo o una oración? Una clause. Clause. Ahora, si yo voy a usar una clause, ¿qué tengo que usar sí o sí? ¿Va de frente o tengo que agregarle ciertas palabritas? Ajá, entonces voy a poner despite the fact that Despite the fact that. Ahora, ¿qué pongo? Yo llegué tarde. ¿Cómo sería?
I was late.
Oh, I was late. Puede ser I was late. También puedes decir I arrived. I've arrived late. A pesar de que llegué tarde o que estaba tarde, coma. I took the exam. ¿Te das cuenta? Despite the fact that I was late, I took the exam. ¿Por qué utilizo the fact that? Porque estoy usando una clause. La misma oración, pero con un sustantivo. ¿Cómo sería? Despite, un sustantivo que se les ocurra. Despite the time, a pesar de la hora. Despite the time, coma, I took the exam. Entonces puedo decir, despite the delay, a pesar del retraso. ¿Cierto? ¿O no? Yes. Y esto es un sustantivo porque no hay verbo. Por lo tanto va de frente. ¿Ahora sí quedó más claro el despite? Sure?
Sure, teacher.
Yeah. Okay, good job, good job. So now, instead of using despite, you can also use in spite of. You can say in spite of the noun or in spite of the fact that. In spite of the fact that. You get it? Yep. In spite of. So I can say here, in spite of the fact that I was late, I took the exam. In spite of the fact that I was late, I took the exam. And also you can say, in spite of the delay, I took the exam. So it's the same. Any questions? Nope.
Teacher, in spite, ¿qué vendría a ser?
It's the same. Synonym. In spite of es lo mismo que despite. Pero recuerda que in spite trabaja con of, pero despite no tiene nada. Okay? So despite the delay, in spite of the delay. Easy peasy. Okay, so any questions?
Teacher, I have a question.
Tell me.
Despite is the same in spite of, right?
Yes.
And for example, when I use in spite of plus noun, I only it's the same rule, right?
It's the same, yeah, it's the same. You can say despite the delay, in spite of the delay.
Okay. And when it's a quick clause, I put the fact that.
In both sentences. Okay? In both. In spite of the fact that and despite the fact that. If you don't write this the fact that, your sentence is incorrect. Okay? Incorrect if you don't write the fact that. So what do you think about that? Is that easy for you? You got it? Because there is one more and then we continue with exercises. What's going on here? Okay. You got it? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now we're going to do the most difficult one. Okay? If you don't understand at first, it's understandable. Okay? But the last one and the most difficult one. You have here, look at this. I was late. But I could take my exam. So can you make a sentence using despite or in spite of, please? Despite what else? Make a sentence.
Despite
the fact that I was late, despite the fact that I was late, comma, I could take my exam. Another option that you can create here, despite the delay, because you will is despite the delay, I could take my exam. So what you have to focus on this part is this. We just need to use this one. This not, this is the other option.
Sure.
Tell me.
Una consulta. ¿Cuál sería la diferencia de decir I could take y decir I thought?
Can you repeat? I could take, si yo pude tomar mi examen. ¿Y el otro cuál era?
Talk, ¿no? Talk.
Yo tomé mi examen. Una es que pudiste tomar tu examen y el otro es que tomaste. Solamente estoy usando el verbo modal.
Ok.
Pero es lo mismo. En ambos casos tomaste el examen en pasado. Ok. Now, focus on this part. Enfóquense en este momento, que es la parte más difícil. Tenemos aquí, despite the fact that I was late, I could take the exam. My question is, the subject or the subjects are the same en la primera oración aquí. ¿Se trata de la misma persona, el mismo sujeto? Or not? What do you think? Yes or not?
Yes.
Yes. Se trata de la misma persona. It says yes, mismo sujeto. I was late, I could take the exam. Cuando hagamos este proceso, tengamos el mismo sujeto, vas a hacer lo siguiente. Despite, ¿cuál es el verbo principal en esta oración? En I was late. El verbo principal. Do you know?
Was?
Was, muy bien, was. ¿Cuál es la forma base de was?
Be.
Lo que vamos a hacer es agarrar esta forma base y la vamos a poner aquí con ing. So, despite being late, I could take my exam. Cuando se trata de la misma persona, lo único que tenemos que hacer es poner la forma base sin importarme el tiempo. Profesor, pero aquí está en pasado. No me importa, tengo que poner su forma base, pero luego con ing. ¿Se entendió? Otro, mira. Despite the fact that he killed my dog, I didn't hate him. A pesar del hecho que él mató a mi perro, yo no lo odio o no lo odiaba. Mi consulta es, ¿puedo usar esto de aquí? ¿Con el verbo? ¿Qué opinan?
Sí.
No.
It's different.
No puedo. I can't. ¿Por qué no puedo? ¿Por qué? Porque mira, el sujeto de la primera oración, ¿cuál es? He. Y el de la segunda es I. Son distintos. Pero ¿qué hubiese pasado si es que yo dijese, despite the fact that I killed my dog, a pesar de haber matado a pesar de que maté a mi perro, I was happy. That's so weird. By the fact that I killed, I was happy. En este caso, se trata del mismo sujeto, ¿no? Yes. So, despite the fact that killing my dog, I was happy. You get it? You get it? The same subject. ¿Se entendió?
Okay, teacher. When it's the same subject,
You can do that.
I would put ing.
Yes. The ing form. Because the base form of kill is like kill, right? So you need to add ing. Okay, so one question that probably you can ask me is, what would happen if we have a different subject? Like this, focus. Despite the fact that it was raining, I went to the party. My question is, can I use the gerund? Can I use the gerund or not? What do you think?
No.
No, because the subjects are different. Yeah. But now let me tell you that we can do it. But how? When the subjects, this happens when the subjects are different. When the subjects are different. For example, you say, despite the possessive, despite it's raining, I went to the park. You get it? Despite it's raining, you need to include this one. Despite it's raining, because the subjects are different. Did you understand? Sure or not?
Please give another example.
Okay, so for example, despite the fact that she cooked for me, I was sad. So despite the fact that she cooked for me, I was hungry. But because it doesn't make sense. I was hungry. So the subjects are different, right? She cooked and I was. Is that true? So you can say despite her cooking for me, I was hungry. In this case, I can drop this one. So you say, despite cooking, I was angry. Because we have different subjects. We have she and we have I. So you need to write this one, her. In this case, we wrote it. But imagine, despite the fact that I cooked for myself, of course. I was hungry. Of course, it would be despite cooking, I was hungry because the subject is the same. But in the previous one, the subjects are different. So this would be this one, and this would be this one. Did you understand? Because I have a lot of exercises and we can practice. You got it?
I don't understand that it's the same.
What do you mean when it's the same?
Despite the fact that she cooked for me, I was angry. Despite her cooking, I was angry.
Yeah, here the subjects are the same or different?
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the last. Despite cooking, I was angry.
Ah, ok, yo dije, ¿qué pasa? Ok, para hacerlo más claro, cuando los sujetos son distintos, tengo que poner el posesivo. Entonces voy a poner el posesivo de she as her. Entonces digo, despite her cooking, I was hungry. En el caso anterior, imagínate que había puesto despite the fact that I cooked, I was hungry. En este caso son iguales, por lo tanto no tengo que poner nada.
Ah, okay, understood.
Okay, so are you ready for practicing? Yep.
Could you
Screenshot.
¿puedes repetir a la otra imagen?
Ok, ahí les voy a enviar los screenshots. ¿Vale?
Ok, thanks, teacher.
Listo, voy a enviar los screenshots y van conectándose a la plataforma para poder desarrollar los ejercicios. Les di la cuenta, ¿cierto? Yes, se conectan. Voy a enviar los screenshots. 1 second. Images. Igual con lo del y es lo mismo.
Okay.
Es lo mismo.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, teacher.
Another
No
question?
for me.
Listo. Ahora, ya saben qué significa despite y también qué significa in spite of, right? ¿Qué significaban? A pesar
A pesar
de. A pesar de. Ahora vamos a aprender el otro, que es although. Although significa aunque. Entonces ahí al final significan lo mismo. Pero este es más fácil. Por ejemplo, si yo tengo, miren, yo tengo aquí un I was late. I was late. I was late. Yo estaba tarde. I was late. Para poder usar un despite, ¿qué tendría que usar aquí? Para poder usar un despite o un in spite of. ¿Qué tendría que usar? ¿No puedo decir yo despite I was late?
No.
No. ¿Qué tengo que usar para poder usar el despite con una oración, con una cláusula?
The fact that.
un the fact that, ¿cierto? Si no, no se puede. Entonces, despite the fact that. A diferencia del despite o también el in spite of, tenemos el although. El although, eso sí, although I was late. El although no necesita a nadie. ¿Ok? El although no necesita a nadie. ¿Ok? Yes. El although va de frente. Pero el in spite of y el despite van acompañados del the fact that cuando tenemos una clause. Una clause. Did you understand?
Yes. ¿Y cómo saber cuándo usarlo?
¿Cómo saber cuándo usar un despite or un spite of y un despite y un although?
Yes.
Cuando tú quieras decir aunque o a pesar de, para contrastar dos ideas. Para contrastar dos ideas. Por ejemplo, tú dices, mira, llegué tarde, pero di mi examen. Lo más lógico es que si llegas tarde, no des el examen, ¿cierto? Entonces puedes decir, a pesar de que llegué tarde, despite the fact that I was late, I took my exam. Despite the fact that I was late, I took my exam. O puedes decir, aunque llegué tarde, ¿sí o no? Dirías, although. Although va de frente. Entonces, although I was late, I took my exam. ¿Ahora sí se entendió?
Ok.
Yes. Ahora, aparte de usar el the fact that, había otra estructura que se podía usar. ¿Se acuerdan? Con el despite y con el in spite of. ¿Qué podía ir un? ¿Un qué?
Sustantivo.
Un sustantivo. Perfecto. Con el although plus noun no existe. No existe. Okay? It doesn't exist. No existe. Okay?
Solo se usa con pronombre.
¿Cómo con pronombres? El although, no, con cláusulas. Although I was late.
Con
Solamente
cláusulas.
con cláusulas. Okay? Ahora sí, ¿podemos practicar? Sure. Yep. A ver, con práctica les dije que se vayan a la plataforma y se vayan a los ejercicios de nivel avanzado. Si no estoy equivocado, nos vamos donde dice despite versus although. Se ve mi pantalla, ¿cierto? Yes.
Yes.
Completemos juntos. Dice así. His sickness, he attended the class yesterday. ¿Qué significa his sickness? Su
Enfermedad.
enfermedad. Entonces, su enfermedad, ¿qué cosa es? ¿Es una cláusula o es un sustantivo o es un verbo con ing? ¿Es un?
Verbo con.
Sustantivo.
Es un sustantivo. Por lo tanto, ¿qué voy a poder usar? Voy a poder decir, despite his sickness, he attended the class yesterday. Y luego de decir despite his sickness, también puedo decir, ¿qué más? In
spite of.
In spite of his sickness, he attended. Pero podré decir, although his sickness. ¿Puedo decir although? No se puede porque although siempre va seguido de una cláusula. Siguiente. He didn't feel well. He went fishing. ¿Qué sería aquí? ¿Qué cosa es he didn't feel well?
A clause.
Una cláusula. ¿Podré usar although he didn't feel well?
Yes.
Por supuesto. Although he didn't feel well. ¿Podré usar un despite?
No.
¿Por qué
A
no?
menos que le ponga the fact that.
The fact that. ¿Podré usar un in spite of? Sí, pero tengo que ponerle un the fact. On the fact that. En este caso, ¿tengo aquí escrito un the fact that? No. La respuesta va a ser un although, nada más porque no he escrito un the fact that. Número 3. We arrived at the meeting on time. Heavy traffic. ¿Qué cosa es heavy traffic?
Noun.
Noun. ¿Qué puedo poner en esta línea? ¿Mm?
Despite or despite of.
In spite of. ¿Puedo poder poner although?
No.
No, porque although no va con sustantivos. I failed my chemistry exam. I studied all night. ¿Qué puede ir ahí?
Although.
Although. No puede ir un despite the fact. Un despite porque le falta el the fact. No puede ir un in spite of porque le falta el the fact. Número 5. All my effort. I couldn't convince my parents to let me go out.
Despite.
Despite or in spite of.
His.
In spite of.
Yes. His anger.
Despite.
Despite
Or
or
in spite of.
in spite of. Claudia has many friends. She's very shy. Although no puede ir un despite or in spite of porque le falta el the fact that. Number 8. Although, porque le falta el the fact that para que vaya un despite or in spite of. Número 9. We finished the race first. Many difficulties.
In spite of
In
or
spite
despite.
of or despite. Recuerda que es despite solito y el otro es in spite of. Number 10. She can see well. She prefers to sit in the back.
Although.
Está sencillo, ¿cierto? Yeah.
Ujú.
Super easy. Ahora vamos a hacer otra pequeña práctica. Just give me a second. Any questions? Pueden volver a preguntarme. Todavía tenemos tiempo. Pregúntenme si desean que repita algo. Nope. No questions? Yep. A ver, vamos a practicar aquí. Inicio. Okay. One second, please. Where is it? I couldn't find it. Despite the fact. No me aparece mi archivo. One second, please. Igual les doy los 2 minutos. One second. Se me ha perdido. Okay, let me share the screen. I found it. Dun, 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 dun. I hope this works. Okay, can you see the screen? Can you see it? I don't know what happened to my
Not sure.
computer. Now, yes. Okay, let me call you
Yes.
one by one. So what I want you to do is to read, because we not only focus on grammar, we not only focus on pronunciation. Let's start with Lubitsa. Lubitsa, choose the correct answer and read. Lubitsa, are you there?
Yes. Despite the fact that he is a doctor, he doesn't like seeing blood.
Oh, Mason. When you have S and then you have A, you can say like is a. So despite the fact that he is a doctor, is a, okay? And this is perfect. Good job. Next, Emerita Moran, you please, what's the answer?
Although the cold
Okay.
despite the cold weather, they decided to go to the beach.
Okay, well, that's amazing. Here, remember to say decided, right? Decided. But this D is between two vowel sounds, so you pronounce like R. So you say D,
Uh,
decide,
decided.
And when you have go to, you say goda, goda. You?
Oh. Decided go to the beach.
No.
Go to the beach.
Goda. You?
Go to the beach.
Yes. Go to the beach. Good job. Next, Sara Costa, you.
Well, despite he's really tall, he cannot play basketball with me.
Okay, what is he is really tall? What is that? A noun on a clause? What is that?
Sorry?
What did you say? Although or
Sorry?
despite? What did you say? Although or despite? Which one?
I say despite, but I'm not sure.
Okay, what is that? A clause or a noun?
He's really tall. A clause.
A clause, muy bien. Cuando tú tengas una clause y quieras usar un despite o un in spite of, tienes que agregar toda la vida un the fact that. Si tú no agregas el the fact that, está mal. Toda la vida the fact that. Despite, in spite of, the fact that con una cláusula. Pero cuando tienes en although, de frente nada más.
Okay.
Yes, please, read the example.
Although he is really tall, he cannot play basketball well.
He could not play basketball well. Great. Next student, Jonathan Malky, please read.
Okay. Allowed.
But read the whole sentence.
Allowed his hand, he cannot play basketball.
Okay.
Well.
His height. ¿Qué significa his height? Su
altura.
Su altura. ¿Su altura es una cláusula o es un sustantivo? Es un noun. ¿Qué cosa es his height, su altura?
No.
Dime. Tell me.
Cláusula.
Es una cláusula. La cláusula se define como una estructura que tiene sujeto y que tiene verbo. ¿Esto de aquí tiene verbo? No. Por lo tanto, no es una cláusula, viene a ser un noun. Ahora, ¿yo puedo usar un although con un noun? No, no se puede. Se puede el despite y el in spite of. ¿Ok? ¿Les parece si les hago una pequeña chuleta como para que se guíen? Tengo así, mira. Despite, in spite, spite of, y luego tengo although. Although. Practiquen la pronunciación. Se pronuncia así, mira. all. Luego esta TH es como though, although. ¿Ok? Entonces aquí voy a poner noun, voy a poner sustantivo y aquí voy a poner cláusula, close. Ustedes ya saben que es una cláusula. Entonces, despite con el in spite of, check con el noun y check con el close. Y el although, check con el close nada más. Nunca va a trabajar con un noun. Ahora, para nosotros trabajar con un despite y un in spite of con una cláusula, tenemos que usar cierta palabra. ¿Se acuerdan? Un the fact, un the fact that. ¿Ok? Pero con el although no uso nada. ¿Ok? Así de frente. ¿Se entendió? ¿Lo hicimos fácil? Yes? Let me know.
Okay, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Yes.
ahí está. Despite, in spite of con sustantivos trabajan. Although con sustantivos no trabajan. Despite, in spite of trabajan con cláusulas. Although también trabajan con cláusulas. Pero el despite y el in spite of necesitan un the fact that. Si no tienen el the fact that, está incorrecto. Igual tomo screenshot y se los envío. Ok, terminemos estos ejercicios. Terminemos, nos quedan como 8. Entonces aquí es his height. His height es su altura. Jonathan, what is the answer?
Despite.
Despite. Ok.
Mhm.
Lee toda la oración para poder corregirte.
Despite his height, he cannot play basketball well.
Perfect. Next, we continue with Emerita Moran. Emerita, to you, go on.
Despite being a millionaire, she doesn't spend much money when she goes shopping.
Yes, te das cuenta que estoy usando el ing porque se refiere, despite he is a millionaire, a pesar de que él es, para que sea un despite he is, tiene que haber sido un despite the fact that, a pesar del hecho de que ella es millonaria, luego de esto que hizo, borró el sujeto y el verbo principal, que es el verbo to be, le agregó ing. ¿Te acuerdan eso? Yeah.
Yes.
So, despite being a millionaire. Great. Next. Continuamos con Sara Costa para you.
Okay. Okay. Although applying for hundreds of jobs, he is still unemployed.
Listo. Ok.
Sí, cierto.
Acá que estoy teniendo un verbo con ing, ¿cierto?
Sí.
¿En algún momento yo les enseñé un although con un ing?
No.
No.
Solamente enseñé con el despite y con el in spite of. ¿Se acuerdan? Entonces aquí la respuesta es
sí.
despite. Vamos a agregarle a la tablita el ing también, por si acaso. Luego vamos a agregar aquí el ing. Let me change the color. ing. Vamos grande 36. Listo. ing. Los que trabajan con el ing solamente van a ser el in spite y el in spite of. Despite, pero el otro no. El otro no. Ahora, para que trabaje con el ing, si es el mismo sujeto, voy a poner, por ejemplo, same subject. Same subject. Same subject. Ok, same subject, same subject y también cuando es different subjects. ¿Se acuerdan? Cuando ponía same subject, ¿qué pasaba? No agrego nada, ¿cierto? Pero si trabajo con different subjects, ¿qué tengo que agregar? El possessive. ¿Se acuerdan?
Yes.
Y ahí está, ya los he agregado. Solamente se dan cuenta que el although trabaja con la cláusula y va de frente, pero no trabaja con nada más. Pero el despite y despite of trabaja con todos. Continuemos, hay que terminar esto, Despite. Next one, although or despite. This is gonna be for Lubitsa, you.
Auto.
Although. Muy
She
bien.
studied.
¿Por qué deciste que sea although? Because
after although is a cause.
y para que vaya despite, ¿qué tendría que ver aquí?
The fact that.
On the fact that. Muy bien. Next one. Continuamos con Jonathan, you. A ver. Jonathan, you. Or Sarah, whatever. El que sepa la respuesta que le diga. ¿Cuál es la respuesta, Jonathan?
Sí, ok. Spider.
In spite, pero no tenemos spite of, tenemos although y tenemos despite.
Ah, ok. Despite.
Despite. Recuerda que para que vaya despite tiene que ir the fact that.
No tenemos.
No hay the fact that. Tiene que ser although. No hay. Siempre despite. In spite of tiene que acompañarte un the fact that. Aquí, por ejemplo, guys, ¿cuál es la respuesta? Although or despite? Despite, porque tenemos a fact that. Muy bien. Next one. They were invited. ¿Qué se usa? Despite or although? Although. Porque nos falta el the fact that para poner el despite. Next one. Despite or although? Although. Having a horrible cold, Matt doesn't want to see the doctor. Despite. Y este despite having a horrible cold, ¿de dónde proviene? Proviene de un despite. Despite the fact that Matt, despite the fact that Matt has a horrible cold. Aquí, ¿cuál es mi verbo principal? Has, ¿cierto? Has, la forma base es have. Y le agrego ing having. Next, many obstacles. ¿Qué va allí? Although or despite? Despite, porque despite es el único que trabaja con sustantivos. Pretty good. Nos faltan 4. Being much older than the others, he won the competition. Despite. Next one. Despite or although?
Despite.
Oh, dice, my car is really well. Mira, my car is really old. Mi carro es realmente muy viejo. Esto es una cláusula. Para que vaya el despite tendría que ir un the fact that. A ver, the fact that I am really tired. ¿Cuál va?
Despite.
Dime, tell me, Jonathan. I am really hungry. ¿Cuál sería la respuesta?
Although.
Sí, dale el número de error nomás.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. Hemos culminado. La próxima lección tenemos speaking como la clase anterior y vamos a practicar esta gramática. ¿Ok? ¿Tienen alguna consulta antes?